Wizard family, welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Beard Wizard Man, also known as Trevor on social media. Links to all of which you can find in the video description below, including ways to find me on all my social medias. Under the Linktree link, you can find my books there. You can find the beardstruggle.com's link and my code in case you need some beard products. But the biggest way you can help support this channel is keep clicking that subscribe button. So many of you have come here for various reasons, various bands and artists and gaming and all that stuff, and I really appreciate every one of you. You guys helped us cross our 3,000 goal a month and 2 weeks early. I wanted to get there before the end of the year, and we got there 2 nights ago. So thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. So what is this, and what's up with the title of this? So if you guys are new here, every once in a while I do a rant. It's just I've got a topic or an idea or something rolling around in my head that I just need to get out. And until I do, it won't leave me alone. So we're here to talk about something that's been bothering me actually for a while now, related to a game that I play. I play Escape from Tarkov. If you guys haven't noticed, I release a lot of videos on YouTube. I stream it at least twice a week, if not more, on Twitch. Thank you, by the way, if you follow over there. If not, follow the link and follow me over there. I would appreciate that as well. I'm a very small Tarkov streamer in the grand scheme of things, but I've been playing this game a long time. I've actually been playing this game. God, I wish I knew when I bought this game. For those of you who play Tarkov and remember, I've been playing this when scavs were hostile to other scavs. I played it before like any of the additions. I played it when there was only 4 maps, I think. I played it when Shoreline was just a tiny little map with 1 extract. I've been playing Tarkov that long. I've only been streaming Tarkov for a couple years though, and really seriously only for about the last year and a half or so. But the one thing that's kind of bothered me and kind of relates to the title of this rant is the media and the community surrounding this game can sometimes be very frustrating in the way that they portray content and the way they talk about the game. So that's one of the things that I wanted to touch on, and that's why I called this video insert clickbait headline here. And by the way, if you don't know, I'm doing this live. There are not going to be any cuts or edits, so you're going to see it. It's my preferred method, my preferred format. And so, yeah, you're going to get all the flubs and mistakes and stumbling over words. It's just the way I like to work. And so if you're new here, that's what we do here. So there's so many videos related to Tarkov on YouTube that the titles, I hate this game, I'm done with this game is broken, we need to address this, we need to do that, this game is dying, the population count is falling, blah, 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 blah. And it's very frustrating to me because I feel like it's such a negative experience for new players. The game is already hard. The game is already frustrating for new players. The game is already challenging, and it has such a high learning curve and high turnover rate of players due to the nature of the game. It doesn't need any help when it comes to, if you go on YouTube right now and search Escape from Tarkov, you're going to get a lot of gaming videos, but you're going to get a lot of news and discussions and videos about how awful this game is. From people who play and make money playing this game. And that's part of the problem that irritates me, is a lot of those videos are made by people whose bread and butter is made by playing this game, and then they're turning around and shitting on the game. And I feel like that is detrimental to the health and the growth of this community around Escape from Tarkov. So a couple of the things that I wanted to talk about and address in this video is what the average player experiences. Now, while I'm a streamer, I'm pretty average when it comes to playing Escape from Tarkov. I don't play it 8 hours a day. I don't play it 2 hours a day. There are some days where I play a couple, 3 hours. On the weekends, I play a few hours. but I don't play the game every day. My KD is somewhere around 3. My survival rate's in the high 40% right now. I have 8 or 900 hours total in the game. So I'm not like a hugely experienced player. So what is the average Tarkov player experience? And that's what I'm hoping that this video reaches, is what is the average experience for a Tarkov player? And maybe it will help kind of counteract some of the negativity out there. And one of the biggest topics is cheaters. I am not going to sit here and say there are no cheaters in Tarkov. I've seen them, I've reported them, and I've gotten feedback on those reports. I know that there are cheaters in this game, but I think there is a huge difference between what people perceive is the scope of the problem and what the reality is. First of all, it's based on where you're at in the world. Some servers and regions are worse than others because some areas don't have as strict rules about cheaters in online gaming. Also, remember that when you are seeing somebody like Pestily, for example, we're going to use him because he was the biggest streamer who had when the latest report thing came out. If you don't know, recently with Tarkov, when you report somebody you suspect is cheating, you get told whether they get banned or not, and that's new. So in this most recent White Pestily he played I don't even know how many hours straight when it first dropped, and he just played and played and played and played. And he reported of his 70 some deaths in the first many hours of him playing, or 70 some deaths he reported. There were like 36 of them that came back as cheaters. And everybody went nuts about this. Like, look how bad the problem is. You have to remember, he was playing non-stop for days on servers that are notorious for having a lot of cheaters. So I thought, what is the average player experience? And I started recording it and I stopped because... So I was like, I'm going to play 24 hours worth of Tarkov. Not 24 straight, because I have a full-time job and a family. I can't play 24 hours straight. I played 24 hours worth of game time over the course of several days across multiple maps, different time zones, different days, morning on the weekends, evening on the weekends, middle of the day. I played in the afternoons, like around this time during the week, so that I would get a good sampling of the player base in the North American region. And I wrote down every death, the name of every player who killed me, whether it was a player scav or whether I was a scav or PM, whatever, and I reported every one of them. Not that I thought any one of them was actually cheating. Actually, I didn't encounter any death during that 24-hour game time that I thought seemed suspect. I just reported them for consistency's sake. Not a single one came back as an actual cheater. I think in that 24-hour period, I died a dozen times, maybe a little more. Not a single one came back as a cheater. So that's the average. Actually, that's probably more than the average experience, because again, I play multiple hours on the weekends. I stream at night. Some people who play Tarkov might only get a couple hours in a week. And so your experience as an average player, not a streamer, not someone who plays as their job, you're probably not going to encounter a cheater. Now, granted, I didn't play Labs. Labs is the most notorious map for cheaters. I hate Labs. I've also heard Shoreline is horrible for people cheating, but I play Shoreline a lot, and I didn't run into any on that. As a matter of fact, this wipe, I've only reported one person that was very suspect, and it did come back as a cheat. And it was very obvious. It was extremely obvious. And there's only been one other time the whole time I've been playing Tarkov where I ran into an experience where I said, that's definitely a cheater. Somebody trying to shoot me through a wall where I know they couldn't have seen me, and I could see the bullets. I could see the sparks of the bullets on my side of the wall because they were shooting exactly where I would have been. It's the only other time I've run into that. So I think we need to, yes, cheaters need to be addressed. They need to be taken care of. Things need to happen. BSG needs to be consistent. There probably needs to be more replay review of gameplay when you report people. That kind of thing does need to happen. I'm not going to sit here and say there are no cheaters in Tarkov. There are. But I think there's a huge disconnect between what the average player and a streamer experiences when it comes to cheaters. And I think that the people who make the videos about cheaters, people who go out there and say, oh, 60% of the player base is cheating, that's anecdotal. That's people interviewing people who sell cheats. And those people who sell cheats are like, oh, yeah, guaranteed 60% of the lobby is going to be cheaters. If 60% of the lobby was always a cheater, then in that 24-hour period where I reported those deaths, somebody would have come back. Somebody. But there were none. So take it with a grain of salt. Don't look at a streamer who plays 8, 10, 12 hours a day and their experience and apply it to what you're going to expect when you play Tarkov. It's just not reality. But don't downplay the fact that there are cheaters. There's cheaters in every game. There always will be. That's the thing you got to remember. All this, it have to be stopped. People have to do things about it, but you ain't going to stop it. It's always going to be here. All you can do is report them and move on. At the end of the day, they're the dickbag. Don't let them ruin your game, because that's why they do it, honestly. If you let them ruin your day, that's their purpose. That's why they do what they do. So don't let them do that. The other thing that I really want to address is the people that are saying, this game sucks, I hate this game, I'm done. They make videos about how much they hate Escape from Tarkov, and they're done. Just stop playing. I mean, honestly, there's no more... Sorry, Julie's out there dying in the living room. There's nothing more pathetic and passive-aggressive and annoying than somebody's like, I'm done with this, I'm quitting. Just quit. Nobody cares that you're quitting. If Pestily came out, I'd feel the same way. If Pestily came out tomorrow and said, I'm done with Tarkov, and did a whole video about how he's quitting Tarkov, just that, I'd be like, then go away. Quite honestly, as much respect as I have for him, because he's an amazing player. The things he does for the community are awesome. I love watching his content. But at the end of the day, the only thing, if he was done, he should just come out to his community and say, hey, look, guys, just so you know, I'm going to go do something else. Done. So all those videos about I'm quitting, I'm done, this game's broken, I hate this, blah, just go away. Go play something else. You are hurting the community, and you are. That's why they do that. That's why people who do that, because they're so irritated or frustrated or fed up with the game that they want to take as many people with them as they can. So they're like, I'm done, I'm quitting, this game sucks, I'm done. And they're hoping that they turn enough people off of it that they can have an impact on the community. And they are having an impact on the community, because there are people who are considering buying this game, and they're going to YouTube and they're piping in Escape from Tarkov, and they're watching videos, and they're watching your video, and they're going to sit there and go, why do I want it? If this guy who's been playing the game for this long is quitting, why would I even buy it? You're hurting the community. Don't. Just go away. Nobody cares. Just leave. And that goes along with, this game is dying. Is the game dying? I mean, I see that video every few weeks. Somebody posts some video about how Tarkov's dying, Tarkov's over. What you have to realize, and what people who don't play Tarkov probably don't know, is right now Tarkov is in its sort of beta phase. It's not a fully released game yet. We're testing it for battle state games. And it goes through what we call wipe cycles. Every 6 to 8 months, this is probably the shortest wipe I can think of in a long time. But every 6 to 8 months, the game wipes and everything goes away. Now, the player base knows that's happening. So a lot of the casual players will play the game for a while, and eventually they get tired and they go play another game, because they know in a few months it's just going to reset anyway. So that will have players leave. Some people play the game and it has a huge turnover rate because the game is hard. It's hard to learn. It's frustrating. It's like getting kicked in the ball sack every day. And then every once in a while you get a win and you're like, whoo, I got a cookie. And you feel really good. And that's what makes you want to do it again. But some people just can't take that getting kicked in the ball sack every day for that one hit of dopamine that makes you feel really good, that makes you want to jump right back in and get kicked a few more times. That has a high turnover rate. But is the game really dying? Is it really losing players as much as people think? And I did want to look, because I hate people who just speculate and make up numbers. That's part of what I'm talking about here. People just speculating. So I went and looked and saw on what is this site? Escape from activeplayer.io. When you look at the page for Escape from Tarkov there, they have running numbers since 2020 of active players per month, per day, average players per day, and what's this? Monthly gain loss. So since January of 2020 is how far back this one chart goes. In January 2020, there were average monthly players 1.3 million and 169,000 average daily players, and that's from almost 4 years ago. And now, as of last 30 days, 2.2 million average players. So that's 2.2 million up from 1.3. That's almost a million more average monthly players since January of 2020. And the average daily players is down by about 20,000, 147,000. But back in May of 2023, it was 280,000 average daily players. So this game goes through cycles. We had a wipe not too long ago, and that would explain the flux of players. But the average monthly players in the last 30 days is almost a million more than it was back in January of 2020. So is the game dying? It's gained a million average monthly players in 3 years on a beta, on a game that's not even released yet. It's not even out. I mean, it's out. You can buy it. You can play it. But it's still a beta. And it gained a million average monthly players in 3 years. That seems pretty good to me. Now, those are not Call of Duty Modern Warfare super extra whatever jumping dolphin diving bullshit game. But Tarkov is not Call of Duty. It never will be, thank God. So I wouldn't expect it to have the same numbers. It's not, your commercial cookie cutter FPS game. Excuse me, I had to finish that beer and get my other one. So is the game dying? No, it's not dying. You may think the player base is leaving. You may feel like your raids are less populated, but the game's not dying. Quite literally, by the numbers, the game is not dying. So quit saying the game is dying, because again, people who are thinking about buying Escape from Tarkov are going to YouTube and they're putting in Escape from Tarkov and they're watching your video. And they're going to say, well, why would I want to buy a game where people are leaving? It's a dead game. I mean, if you go look right now, I think there's a video that came out a couple days ago about how it's a dead game, about how the game is dying. It's horse shit. Quit saying that. Quit using these clickbait headlines to scare people away from the game. And finally, the other video that seems to be common right now, because this is a common tactic that has become very popular with certain content creators and viewers. And I'm not going to lie, I watch this content myself. It's funny. And I'm thinking about doing some of this content next wipe because it's funny, is ratting. Some of the Chad W key players in this game are really upset about ratting. And if you don't know what that is, so that's the people who sit, and whether you call it ratting or camping or sniping or extract camping or whatever term you want to use, a rat in Tarkov is a person who sits in one spot, usually hides in a bush or hides under something or hides in a tree if they can, and waits for people to run by and they shoot them and kill them. Perfectly valid tactic in a tactical shooter, which, face it, you guys who play this game like it's Call of Duty, it's not Call of Duty. Tarkov was always meant to be and always will be a tactical shooter. Now, yes, if you guys push all the time, you run everywhere, you jump and you dolphin dive, you are going to get really good at that tactic. And those of us who play the game tactically, those of us who play the game strategically, will often lose those gunfights to you. Some of us play that way. I'm getting old. I don't have the reaction time I used to have. I can't play the Call of Duties because I don't have that kind of hand-eye coordination that I used to have. But tactically sound movement, strategy, flanking, all of that stuff, that's how I play the game. That's how a lot of us play the game. But a lot of you guys like to run and gun and jump and shoot and dolphin dive and all that horse shit. Fine, that's the way you like to play the game. You know what? We don't say you need to go away. I would hope that some of you guys go play Arena most of the time and let us play the game tactically. But I'm not sitting there every raid going, oh, that freaking Chad, blah, blah, blah. I'm not getting all mad about it like you guys get mad about ratting. Ratting's a perfectly sound tactic. Defending a position, waiting for a clueless player to run by, and killing them. Because quite frankly, some of you guys that play this game like Call of Duty, you don't look around and you don't look up. So I'm sorry you get killed by the guy who is waiting for you to run by like a moron and get shot. But that's literally what's happening. I watch Stankrat's videos. Shout out to Stankrat, probably one of the most entertaining streamers for Tarkov that I've seen in a while. He even tells you in his streams. He gave advice today in his video that released about where he hides on woods. And he's like, dude, don't extract coming around this hill. Go on the other side of the hill and you'll never get ratted from this spot. But what do people do? They go around and they expose themselves. They don't look up. They don't look around. And you watch his videos. You watch him sitting up on a ledge or up on a tree. And you watch some guy just run by. He doesn't even look. Not only does he not look around, he doesn't look up. And Stankrat's just sitting out in the open on top of a wall. If you just looked up, you'd see him and you'd kill him because quite frankly, he relies on you not looking. That gives him the advantage. If you checked that corner, if you looked up, you'd have him every time. But you don't. And then you get mad. So no, nothing needs to happen about ratting. There's a few videos out there from these W key players that are like, ratting needs to be addressed. No, it doesn't. You need to adapt. You need to learn how to play the game better than just running around and shooting everything that moves and jumping up and down and all of that horse shit. You need to adapt because that's what the rat players are doing. They're adapting. They're adapting to the game that they are presented with. They're using the game to their advantage. They're using the terrain to their advantage. You need to change your gameplay, and if you don't want to change your gameplay, too bad. Go play Arena when it comes out because that's going to be perfect for you. But don't get mad because you weren't paying attention because that's what it comes down to. You weren't paying attention. So what's the whole point of this rant? Yeah, I covered a few topics, but the main point of this rant is stop with the clickbait shit. And you know, if you're watching this video, I doubt any of them are actually watching this video. I'm a very small streamer. Nobody knows who I am. But if you're watching this video and the next time you're thinking about making a Tarkov video and making the title something about how Tarkov is dying or you hate this game or Tarkov is dead or cheaters this or ban that or rats, blah, 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 stop and think for a second and imagine what that headline is going to look like to a potential buyer of this game. You aren't informing the consumer by saying something like Tarkov is dying. It's one thing to review a game. And it's completely another to shit on a game because it gets you clicks. And that's exactly what you guys are doing. You are doing it for clicks, but you're also hurting the community because this game will only get better if we get more people to play it. And you're hurting that. Just by the headlines, just by scrolling through the videos for Escape from Tarkov on YouTube, every few 3, 4, 5 videos is something negative about this game. And you're just making it so that people won't buy it. And some of you, those of you who are actually legitimately quitting the game, do us a favor and just quit. But those of you who are continuing to play and making money off of Escape from Tarkov content because you got a lot of viewers and you get a lot of clicks and you get a lot of ad revenue, think about that. If you hurt the growth of the population, you're only hurting yourself. Because the fewer people playing this game, the fewer people are going to watch it. Because why would you watch a game? There are some people out there that watch gameplay for games they don't play. But I bet you a vast majority of your viewer base are also players. So if you want to grow your community, stop shooting us all in the foot with these stupid clickbait headlines and these stupid complaints and all this crap. And yes, I'm complaining. I'm not complaining about the game, though. I love Tarkov. It's a hard game. I've never played a game that has given me such a dopamine rush, that has made me feel so good about winning and so bad about losing and want to go get kicked in the nuts again. Never played a game like that. I love this game. So I'm not complaining about Tarkov. I want more people to play this game. As many people as possible, because you know what happens, especially if your concern is the cheaters. The more people we get playing this game, the more people will be reporting the cheaters, and the more cheaters that will keep getting banned and keep having to spend money to keep cheating. And eventually they'll find a different game that's more profitable. But if you keep hurting the player base, that's not going to happen. So quit. Quit with the clickbait. Quit with the bitching. And let's play the damn game. All right, I'll see you out there. I'll see you in the raids. Hopefully I'll see you tonight if you're watching this. If you're watching the recording, let me know what you think. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and share it out there. And if you disagree with me, awesome. Put it in the comments. I'd love to hear your insight. I'd love to hear what you have to say. And I'll see you all again soon. You have a great one. Much love. Bye.